Okay. Are we ready? Dude, you almost ready to record?
Yeah, just hold on one sec. I'm on like a really good run.
Wait, what ante are you at?
I'm just about to finish the big blind on ante 8.
Oh, what's your build?
I'm doing like a trips build with an average mult of like 400 plus. I'm super hoping to get a good additive joker next.
Oh, that's sick. Well, make sure to look out for those full boat planets just in case you get a pair or something turns up, you know.
Oh, shoot. Good call. Hold on one sec. Oh, wait. Should we record?
Oh, no, man. You do you. It's totally fine. They can wait.
Okay. Never mind. I just got the needle. It's over. Let's just start.
Ugh. You just logged into the 3 Balatro Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And I put Balatro down 4 minutes before I jumped on this computer.
Well, JD was asking how much I've played, and it's embarrassing. So,
yeah, I thought I'd played a lot at like 15 plus hours, and you're at
60 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you. That's really good. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right. Our news this week is brought to us by Crave Cookies. Crave Cookies is this cookie shop here in everywhere. Here in America. Why don't I start saying that?
Yeah, because you say here in Utah, but they open more non-Utah stores now than
Crave
Utah
Cookies
stores.
is an American cookie shop.
All
Ooh,
American.
Can we just get like a little Star Spangled Bumper?
During the Crave segment?
Yeah. Just when I say that, then we sit there at attention for Crave because they're American made, dude. It's an American cookie shop. Anyway, Crave Cookies, you go to cravecookies.com. You can find out their cookies of the week, the cookies they have on a rotating weekly menu that goes till Friday. And on Friday, we bust out the new ones. And because we love you on this podcast, we tell you in advance what's coming up next Friday.
You just got to plan your week, you know.
You legit can't know this. Like, you can walk into a Crave anywhere here in America, in these grand states of Uncle Sam, and you can ask them, hey, do you know what's coming up next week? And they're like, no idea. But if you listen to the 3-Bit Gamer Show, you can walk in and be like, you know what cookies they're going to be making next week? This one. And they're like, oh, shit, that one takes forever.
Employees don't know. We know.
We know. Here's what's coming up next Friday, starting the week, starting March 15th. We got the Flintstone. That's the monthly cookie for March. The white caramel macadamia. Ooh, the Biscoff brownie. Stuffed cookies and cream with an updated recipe. Damn.
Oh.
And the Irish mint. I'm sure that's the cold cookie. A cold mint cookie I'm here for. That's what I want. Warm, not so much.
We went and got a bunch of cookies, and we got the chocolate mint one from last week. Mm-hmm. And my kids pounded that one immediately. They loved it. So I'm interested in the Irish mint.
Yeah, I think a cold one's going to be even better. So go to Crave Cookies this week or go on Friday, and you can have this week's menu and next week. If we have dough left over, there's a menu of 10 cookies on Fridays. So go down there. It's already busy enough. We don't care if you come, whatever. Get your cookie on. You got communism in my peanut butter. Canada is going to be keeping a closer eye on foreign investments in their video games. If you understood that reference, you're older than Peterson.
That's okay. Okay, first of all, nobody's older than me. So how dare you? No, I didn't understand that reference.
Life crisis right now.
Yeah, 3/4 life crisis. I'm playing video games still.
So here's what the deal is that Canada is putting foreign investments under closer scrutiny into video games and interactive media and stuff like that. Something that would be really cool if we did here in America, but we don't, because who cares? Just let China buy all, or Saudi Arabia buy all the video games. That's fine.
Those are good, respectable countries. Okay.
We like them owning parts of our our media and entertainment.
They already own all our debt, so it's like, yeah, just buy whatever they want.
Thing. It's fine. This is a quote from the Science and Industry Minister of Canada. Hostile state-sponsored or state-influenced actors may try to leverage foreign investments in the interactive digital media sector to spread disinformation and manipulate information. And this is the part where I admit that I put this whole story on here so I can read this guy's name.
What is it? Canada's
Science and Industry Minister. His name is Francois-Philippe Champagne.
Oh yeah, Francis Champagne.
Of all the French names, dude, this guy could waltz into Ubisoft any day of the week, and they'd make him an executive.
First of all, they would come, and then they would make him an executive. They'd be like, "Your name is Francois Philippe Champagne."
Oui, oui.
They're like, "Oh my god,
Champagne.
What do you want to do here?" Dude, they could
I'm
not.
Sorry. Just the most French name I've ever seen in my life. I wasn't even going to put this on the doc till I saw his name.
Like if I was going to come up with French words and they were like, you have 5
croissant,
minutes to come up with
champagne,
all the French stuff you can think of.
Philippe.
All 3 of these would be on there.
Cigarette. I don't fucking know, dude.
Cordon bleu.
Oui, oui, oui.
Sacre bleu.
So that's what we've got. We're sorry to French people out there. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
Dude, I know they cry every time we try to pronounce it, and I don't even feel bad.
I just won't bother. I'm sorry.
Just learn how to say your R's better, and then we'll say your words better.
Speak English. Come on. After a disappointing release, WB Games doubles down on live service games.
Here we go.
It makes sense.
I don't.
Right? Look, one of our live service games didn't work, so we need to make 2 now to make up for that 1. In fact, just make it 4. This is WB Discovery head of gaming JB Perrette, which I've got to say, just a heads up. Ooh, play the shitbird clip.
Ooh, yeah, that's a
Spoilers.
great one for this.
And let me tell you something, shitbird.
You win.
Yeah, JB Perrette's our shitbird of the week, and I feel like he's just like on the list now. We will be. I'm sure we'll. This is not the last we've heard of this dude. He's the head of gaming for WB, which means Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, all the DC properties, anything that touches, this dude's fucking up.
But he's crushing it this week. He's been all over the news.
He's on fire. He was speaking at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference. Man, I bet that was fucking dry. It sounds like it might not be because it's like, oh, video games, technology, media. No, it's dry.
Yeah.
Here's a quote when he was talking. He says, "The challenge we've had is that our business historically has been very AAA console based. And so, as you know, that's a great business when you have a hit like Harry Potter. It makes the year look amazing. And when people when you don't have a release, or unfortunately, we also have had disappointments. We just released Suicide this quarter, which was not as strong. It just makes it very volatile." Okay. I'm sorry. Just to unpack a little bit, he calls Hogwarts Legacy Harry Potter. This motherfucker, dude, has absolutely no respect for the properties he is managing. That's what's happening here. Because if you actually gave a damn to know it, but I guarantee you in internal meetings, externally, when he talks about it to the fucking media, to the press, right, he calls it the Harry Potter game. Harry Potter. Are you fucking crazy, dude? It's Hogwarts Legacy. If you're building a brand and there's going to be a sequel, you need to start doing that now.
Start saying Hogwarts Legacy.
That's what the fucking brand is. Then what are you going to call the next one? Oh, the next Harry Potter game. So you're just going to call it Call of Duty? Oh, we just call him Harry Potter. Dude, I didn't like that at all. I think JB Perrette is a fucking imbecile. But the idea that he correlates the failure of Suicide Squad, a live service game, with the idea that they should now make more live service games is beyond me.
That's the thing. This is what I just don't. I've tried to wrestle with this in my brain for a few days now because Harry Potter.
See,
You
we
got
can
me
do
now.
it because it's
You
not
s-
our fucking
no,
brand.
you said it, and now it's like in my head. Hogwarts Legacy was such a massive hit that they made so much money. It made over $1 billion. It made so much
Made
money.
$1 billion.
And then they release Suicide Squad, which is terrible, which is not making money. They've said it's a disappointment. So he's saying in his quote, yeah, in a year where you make Hogwarts Legacy, it looks like a really good year. And then the next year looks so bad because you don't have that. And this is the mindset of a businessman rather than someone who's running a game company, right? Because a game company, historically, they rely on their big release, make a ton of money to carry them to the next release. And he's saying, no, he's looking at just the balance sheet. He's saying, yeah, well, we had a great balance sheet this year, and then the next year it sucks. So we need a game as a service game to balance out the balance sheet. So it looks like we always have money coming in. So we're always good. Instead of this big hit has carried us to the next big hit, which is what game companies have historically done. So they're applying like a retail business model to video games, which it's there's like these guys have to be smart, right? They've made it this far in the
No.
corporate world. There has to be
feel like
something
that
there.
is that we
so
have no proof
stupid.
of that. We only have this as evidence, the things that we can see and read with our own eyes, and the evidence points to these guys being idiots.
Dude, I think there's a point, and we've talked about this before, but like a point when like, yeah, this person like makes good, they're like doing great, just killing it. And then once you make it past a certain level, you just don't have to use your brain ever again, and it just shuts off. It just atrophies, right?
Well,
And
you've
there's
found
like,
enough people that are just going to tell you what you want to hear because you're at a certain level that you don't even, you're like, there's this reality warping bubble around you where like what is going on in the real world doesn't fucking hit you.
yeah. By the way, I did watch that clip you sent me about
spot
this.
on, right?
It's so good. It's from if it's from Silicon Valley. It's a Nucleus. If you're familiar with the show, man, it is spot on exactly what's happening. It's just a bunch of yes men surrounding the CEO
as he's failing objectively in front of millions of people, and they're like, "I think it looks good.
Dude, this is fantastic." And it's just like a horrible failure.
It looks good. Perret goes on to say that the company's going to focus more on mobile, live service, and free-to-play titles that revolve around the company's, quote, 4 main form of IP and games, which are billion-dollar-plus businesses themselves. The ones I already talked about, Harry Potter, DC, the comic company, Mortal Kombat, and Game of Thrones. First of all, one of these things is not like the other, namely Mortal Kombat. You put Mortal Kombat in the same fucking realm as DC and Harry Potter and even Game of Thrones. That is so
they don't even have a Game of Thrones video
They've had
game. Like garbage.
Like 14 total games over 35 years. That is not like anywhere near what Harry Potter is. I don't know. Anyway, so that's their promise. That's this dude's promise, is that they're going to point all of their ships toward live service games. And that's the thing that I love about businessmen, is that he'll be gone when this fails miserably in 5 to 6 years, when the fruits of all these labors results in just like 10 more Anthems, because it's just going to be Anthem after Anthem, just like Suicide Squad was fucking Anthem. It's just going to be more of that. This guy will have moved on. He'll be at EA or he'll be at Microsoft or somewhere else. It won't matter. And he'll be like, wow, they really fucked up the thing that I started that would have been good. I was smart. They're just going to pump out so much shit here, you guys. There's going to be a lot of garbage games with these 4 IPs slapped all over them, including, unfortunately, a lot of Harry Potter stuff, which I'm like, who cares? Whatever. Sell
well, like,
it.
I had seen a story that said Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to be a live service game.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, well, that's not what we want.
It's just going to make everyone go back and play. And we're going to be reporting on this podcast in 4 years on Steam charts. There are 5 times as many people playing Hogwarts Legacy 1 as there are playing Hogwarts Legacy 2 or Hogwarts Legacy Live, or what would they call it? Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy Live. That's what they'll call it. They'll just, a along the same news, or JB Perrette news, is that with this Suicide Squad stuff, is that PlayStation has been issuing refunds for Suicide Squad.
This game has barely been out, and they're issuing refunds.
And they don't do this. This isn't like Steam. PlayStation is pretty stingy when it comes to refunding games, especially when you're like, ew, it's just icky. I mean, there were bugs and there were reasons for people that were like legitimate to refund the game, but for the most part, it was like, ugh, I just don't like it. And these were people that were posting on Reddit, like, here's the refund email that you get from PlayStation if you ask for it. Also, they've already discounted Suicide Squad by 40% on Steam a month after launch. You talked about how this isn't making money, dude. I think this is making negative money. I think it's costing
They're
them
losing money
every day. And they're already in the hole because every time you launch a video game before you make your first sale, you're way in the hole. If you make no sales, you're really in trouble. And then, so it's down to $42 on Steam. And
what I'll say is we don't see this happen with great games. We don't see great games going on sale a month later.
You don't need to. Mm-mm. I don't. Has Hogwarts Legacy got on sale once? It's been out 2 years. I don't fucking think so.
Yeah.
More WB news, and we'll move on really quick. This is something that Snorgle just alluded to in our YouTube comments, but indie scale. There's been some indie games and Adult Swim games that have been pulled by PlayStation from Steam and WB that have been pulled from the Steam and PlayStation stores. It seems kind of for no reason. Maybe I feel like that doesn't cost you that much to list them, but maybe it does.
So the other part of this, though, if you read this story at all, there was not only that, but the developers, these little developers who are making them, is like, if you're just gonna delist the game, just give it to me. And there's this instance where one of them sends them the link. It is a 3-click link in Steam to transfer ownership over to somebody else. And they just say, nah, there's just like too much. It's too technical. Like, we just can't do it.
Too much stuff. There's all this stuff in your game that says Adult Swim on it. And we just don't want to bother with it. So we're just going to pull it. And anyone that's ever bought it no longer has access to it. No one can buy it moving forward. And I guess he can pull all that stuff out and list a new version of the game. But
that is
with
a
Steam
garbage
having
thing to do, though.
14,000 games going up there every year, it'll be lost in the mix. He'll lose all his reviews, all the Steam legacy stuff that was on there over the course of the year. I mean, it's just, this is the game that we're talking about. Is this indie game, if you guys ever heard, called Sound Dodger Plus? There's also another one, Small Radios, Big Televisions. But yeah, any Adult Swim games, WB Discovery. I mean, they're just on a Grim Reaper tour. It's like Embrace the Group, but seemingly not as necessary. I don't know. It's really weird.
Well, and what I guess, just what bugs me about that, though, is they just like the refusal to transfer it over. Like, it costs them nothing to transfer it over. They're just like, hey, go in and edit that stuff out of the game. Sure, we'll transfer right over. But they were just like, you know what? There's too much. Like, we just can't. It's too hard to do that. And you're like, that's not too hard. You're just too lazy.
Yep.
Real quick, there's a review. The top review on Steam for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, 21 hours on record. I have less shame in admitting to owning porn games than I do with this game. Dude.
That's
down.
Beautiful.
So good.
It seems bad. It looks bad. The Helldivers 2 CEO is, quote, extremely disappointed with the behavior of some of his developers. This is pretty funny. Basically, being a smaller studio that probably wasn't expecting to have quite as much success with this game or have it be as large as it's become, they had certain policies in effect that I think were also commensurate to that size that they expected. So when they have, I don't know how many millions of people playing this game, and communities kind of take on a life of their own sometimes. And in this instance, there were a lot of people that were pissed off about the latest patch. It nerfed certain builds. It changed a lot of the gameplay. If I'm seeing this correctly, it added mechs. Is this the same one that added mechs?
Yeah.
It's added storms and all
So
sorts
they
of
added,
other
like mechs. They made some of the guys harder, added a couple new enemies, tweaked them a little bit,
they changed
nerfed
it.
weapons.
And if you've ever followed a live service game, you know that people get pissed when anything changes. There's never a change that's like universally beloved. Everyone's like so excited they buffed Teemo.
And I think what's super annoying about, like, I was, when I read that people were upset because they were ruining the meta. First of all, I hate the
What
meta.
the fuck? That's a weird thing.
I hate the meta. Always hate it, because especially in Helldivers, like, you can go in, there's so many things to unlock, and you can pick 4 and take them with you. And I change my build all the time. There's things that I keep on there, but like, I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna use this different.
No, you have to
thingy.
play this way. Or you're
Like, no,
stupid.
there's a meta, and you ruined it. Like, that's kind of the fun of the game, is like making it, like, trying new stuff. It's supposed to be hard. The game
And
is
it's
called
shitty for
Helldivers.
newcomers, by the way, because now newcomers come in and there's like some sort of required way that they're supposed to play. Like, you have to do it this way, and they're like, "Oh, well, I didn't see that there's this prescribed build," and you're like, "Well, you ruined it."
Well, I
You
like
played it
this
wrong.
weapon. That weap's trash.
You're an
You're
idiot.
using the wrong weapon. Like, we're
So
fighting the
they get
bugs.
mad, and the developer here has apparently, this is something that I think back in the day Riot Games had a reel back in, because they had a similar rule where anyone at the studio can jump on Reddit or Discord and with like a tag that says you work there and comment as like an official voice piece of the company. And some of these dudes, man, some of these comments I'll just read that are pretty funny. This one was this is a Helldivers 2 dev that was speaking in the Discord. "Man, watching all you cry amuses me so much."
It says, people are still clearing Helldive, so I'm not sure what to say here. But skill issue comes to mind. So essentially telling them that they're noobs.
Get good.
Get good.
And that guy came back later and said he, quote, "went a little far with the trolling." Dude, this is so funny that these developers are essentially saying the same thing me and Peterson said in reaction, but they were doing it as an official voice piece of the company. Cannot do that. No. So the CEO is like, "Dude, yeah, we're gonna work on this. Don't worry about it. But sorry about those guys. They're kind of dicks."
Dude, it's so funny. But also, gamers are the worst. Like, yeah, they did make it harder, but it's off for me. I thought it was more fun. Like, there are meteors that come out of the sky, and if you're not careful, they will kill you.
Are there crazy weather effects and shit too?
Yeah, and you're just like, whatever. Like,
the crazy nonsense. Turn it up.
It's supposed to be
turn up the
just
randomness.
Insane.
Turn the chaos to 11 in all video games. That's all I want.
Yeah. Also, I think what was his name? Joel, the game master, crushing it. He's doing a great job. So I am on the other side. I'm with the Helldiver devs on this one.
Yeah.
These guys
watching all you cry amuses me so much.
Yeah, dude, I cried a few times. It's hard, but I'm having a great time.
Discord wants to start paying users to turn the chat app into Farmville right before their IPO. Yeah. Anyone out there that's like, I like Discord, it's a really good experience so far. No, it's going to become Farmville, and then they're going to IPO, and it's going to be even worse versions of Farmville. Guys, this is
ads
the thing.
Mid-chat. It's your chat's just going to go mute, and there'll be an ad, and they'll jump back in.
So bad. Watch this stream or just close your app out. This is they're planning on offering rewards for online play with this thing called quests. It lets Discord users try out new games with friends and win stuff. The CEO, Jason Citron, said, quote, "Our ambition is that every game will offer quests on Discord. Every game will offer quests." If you guys play Fortnite, you may have actually seen one of these in action last May 4th for May the 4th, the Star Wars holiday. Last year, there was a way you could earn a Fortnite wrap. I don't know what a wrap is, but
car.
Cool. There's cars. Oh my God. By quote, either screen sharing Fortnite on PC to a friend in a server you're in, or by using an app with the official Fortnite Discord server. So basically, if you screen shared while you were playing Fortnite in Discord, you got wrap for your car. It's cool. You got a car in the first place. So these quests, according to the blog post from Discord, the quests will show up tastefully. That worries me when you lead with that.
Yeah.
Tastefully, you shouldn't need to say that. It should be it should be understood. So, quote, quests will show up tastefully in Discord, where you can opt in to stream your game to friends and win rewards for playing. Some players will be made aware that a quest is available, while others will discover it as their friends accept and embark on the quest. So you are going to see so many pop-ups on Discord that your friends are doing a quest, and that it would help them earn some magical digital currency if you would join the quest with them. Does this not sound exactly like Farmville circa 2010 on Facebook?
Yeah.
Is that not exactly the same model that Farmville used to annoy every single Facebook user for like 2 or 3 years, where you would just get endless notifications that like an estranged relative was playing Farmville all day, and you're like,
Send me
doesn't he have a
tomatoes.
job? But then it's like, send me some carrots, and you're like, what? That's going to be Discord now. If you're on Discord for just random shit, non-gaming stuff, uh-oh.
I really hope they don't ruin it. They're
going to pay you to do this.
Yeah,
They're going to start shelling out money like TikTok. What does that mean? They're trying to IPO, and they're going to start cutting people checks for playing Farmville on Discord?
That's my new job. I'm going to be the first professional Discord gamer.
I fucking hate the internet economy. You're either an influencer, a YouTuber, or a Discorder, and that's actually the only way to make money. And then you DoorDash in between that, because you still can't pay for a rent in your house that you share with like 6 other roommates.
There's 9 people in the room with you. You have triple bunk beds.
Guys, look, I got us a new wrap for our Fortnite car on the account we have to share. The new Activision QA union is the largest in the video game industry. Peterson told you. He warned you, motherfuckers, all the way back in 2018. He said you're going to earn yourself a union. And you went and you did it.
And they treated QA workers the worst of all. And lo and behold, these guys...
One group of people, and they're like, these are the guys.
Dude, QA workers are setting the stage. It is dominoes start to fall. This union is a lot of the unions we've talked about on this podcast have been very small. I'm talking like
17 people.
Yeah, 20 to 50 max.
Yeah.
This is 600.
And they're all the same company too. Now think about the strength that lends to the union.
So how this works is the 600 software testers at Activision. The union uses that to spread to, hey, let's spread to a different type of developer, and essentially until they've covered all software developers or whatever at the company, and then they move to another company, right? I don't want to say it like this, it makes it sound bad, but it's almost like of the way a virus spreads. You're in one place and it starts to spread around, gets big, and then it goes to the next person and next person.
Roots.
Well, because like tree roots don't like.
How about like strawberries?
Like it's a very niche tree,
or
where
like
it's
Egyptian walking onion.
I see. We don't. You have to talk about. You have to explain what a walking onion is now.
Okay, they're so cool. So they come up and they grow another onion on top of them, and then it becomes so heavy that it falls over, and then that onion sets roots, and they go up and they do the same thing. Jenna planted like
it's like the virus of onions.
Quit calling things viruses, man.
Is that a trigger word these days? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not over it yet.
It's the COVID of onions.
Ah, don't say that. I almost forgot about it.
Don't never forget. Hashtag.
I think they're using that for something.
We just use it for whatever we want now, I think.
These are the first guys to organize under a new labor neutrality agreement at Microsoft. Remember that this is also like the gift of Bobby Kotick to Microsoft, who was so desperate to make this acquisition so they could get wonderful things like Starfield and a union with 600 people in it.
So here's
Great acquisition, guys.
Let me explain to you. Microsoft has been operating in the heart of Union Central for decades in Washington State, which is like so pro-union, and they have not been heavily unionized. And then they
this
make
is
one
how we
act.
get the
they
walking onion into Microsoft.
Bobby Kotick started it, and he just has infected like the COVID-19.
Dude, he's like the Christopher Columbus of unions. He comes in there with his plague blankets, shakes them off, and then just fucking jumps on a
And
ship
he's
back to Europe.
gone.
And he's gone. And everyone at Microsoft is like, wow, this is costing us a lot of money.
He really leave us with all these blankets, though? This is great.
Oh, these are nice. Oh, wait.
Where did this come? Yeah, where did this union come from?
And
so,
not just that, is the union. It wasn't the unions that were the plague blanket. It was his management style and how they just abused his workers. And he's like, yeah, dude, Cosby Suite, I'm in for that. That was his plague blanket. And he shook that all off in Microsoft. And then he's like, bye.
Thanks for all the money. Okay, but for real, if I am the head of the union, step one right now, immediately you start negotiating 60-day notices for layoffs right away.
Ooh.
Because that is so hot right now, and people just showing up to work and getting a layoff notice is honestly like ruining people's lives, ruining their mental health. Step one, you do 60-day notice.
Yeah,
that's it. That's first step one. If I'm the union president, that's what I'm doing.
Smart.
Anyway,
well, I'm excited to keep reporting on this. I hope it spreads like an onion.
Oh, it absolutely will. 1000%. It's not super fast, but it's spreading.
And
just
you lay
like
10 of these guys off and they end up, let's say 7 of them stay in the gaming industry and get a new job. Well, those are 7 union-minded guys that are like, man, I'm gonna start making whispers at my new workplace.
They already know. Yeah, they've got ins at the union. Yeah, like this is it. The onion has fallen, I guess.
God, the onion has fallen. Well, there's the name.
I'm sorry to inform you. Welcome to another company reset. I hope you've updated your resume. 'Cause you've just been laid off.
A little bit of fun before this god-awful segment that is kind of long this week. Oh, my God.
It wasn't until 2 days ago.
And then they're just like, let's do them on Friday. Because then no one will there's fewer incidents if we lay them off on Friday. Thunderful, great name, by the way. Just fantastic name. Thunderful. I love that. They're laying off 20% of their workforce. They say that, quote, restructure is going well.
I did not like that at all.
Oh, really well. Things are nice.
This one makes me very sad. This is the guys who do the Steam World games.
Yeah.
And on the first part of the story, honestly, it wasn't even about layoffs. I was reading it and I was like, oh, yeah, because the let's see, Brian Sigurgeirsson.
Nice.
He's the CEO, and he was like, yeah, what we love, because if you know SteamWorld at all, what we love about what we do is we don't stick with one genre. Mm-hmm. We have been successful, so we've been able to like jump into all these other genres. SteamWorld Build, which just came out, I tried it in Next Fest. It wasn't great. It was my least favorite of all the SteamWorld games. Said it wasn't a huge hit, but we're going to try some other stuff. We got a lot of other stuff. We got a lot of freedom. And then the last paragraph of this article says, Thunderful is currently undergoing restructuring, which is expected to result in around 20% of its workforce being laid off. Wowfish said this restructure is off to a good start. I was like, no, off to a good start. This sounds like it started bad.
Nobody's yelled at me.
20% layoff
Gotten mad at me yet.
is not a good start.
It's 100 people, by the way. This is not a small, like 20% of a 100-man studio. This is 100 people.
Oh, man.
They said that the need for restructuring was identified by the new management team and Thunderful's board of directors.
Got to put your stamp on it. Got to come in and put your stamp on whatever.
The new management team immediately saw a company like 100 people. We're not, I mean, you can't, it would take you a year or two to, I think, well and truly understand the contributions and impacts that those people have and what would happen if they left. But nah, they got to figure it out. They put their stamp on it. Spearhead Games has laid off a majority of their staff. These guys are just done, I think. They're ending production of Unforetold Witchstone. That game will end indefinitely on March 8th. This was an indie studio that they were established in 2011, like 13 years ago in Montreal. Former Ubisoft and EA developers. They made Tiny Brains, Omicite Stories, The Path of Destiny. I think these are all kind of like smaller, like
just banging out a couple little indie games.
But yeah, those guys are. I think it was did they have a number on that one? I think it was 100 or.
I
don't know how many people we have there, but
this is. I mean, they're about to shutter the studio. It seems like, just reading between the lines, like they're on their way out.
Not gonna work there anymore. PlayStation back Deviation Games, gone, closed. This was formed in 2020 by Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony, who were two old vets. Then they worked on Call of Duty Black Ops. And this studio they had as many as 100 people working on a AAA original IP for PlayStation. But I guess it wasn't going to work out. So that's gone. We're never going to know what that was.
Dude, that always makes me so sad.
All the people that worked on it.
Someone had an idea. They started working on their idea. Like, these people were excited for this, and it never even
they did good work and can't put it on their portfolio.
Never made it to the public.
Nope. And then they just worked for years for literally nothing. I think that's probably a nice gut punch. Last one here, Rooster Teeth. You guys may be familiar with this. If you spent any time on YouTube in the early 2000s, late 2000s, I guess. They've been around for 21 years and just making silly videos on YouTube. If you guys, they basically, I wouldn't say invented machinima, but they definitely took it in the mainstream. Their YouTube series Red versus Blue just featured like Halo characters in like a multiplayer match, and they just recorded on their computers, and they'd move around the characters and make them look up and down like puppets, so it looked like they were talking, and then they'd voice record over those movements. It was pretty novel for the time. I mean, did you watch those? I watched a lot of those.
I didn't watch a lot, but of course I've seen them.
Yeah, you're familiar with them. So ever since, you see tons of it, especially in the 2000s, these were very popular, 2010s. So these guys bounced around. Oh, thanks. This is a hat tip to LL Whoops on Discord who sent us this one. Because I hadn't seen this one before. They bounced around their ownership. They were purchased by a lot of different companies through the years, but they got up to 400 people at one point.
That's what I was like, what?
It's a YouTube channel. I didn't realize that you could have a company that large based on just a single YouTube
That's
channel.
what I thought. I was like, and I saw a thing that said they have been operating at a loss for 10 years. I'm like, yeah, you have 400 people on your YouTube channel. Like,
what does that mean?
That seems like so many people.
So basically, those 10 years, all they've been doing is just cutting staff, and they got down to 150, which still seems like a lot. That's who will be affected by this, and it's our friends WB Discovery that own them now. Couldn't find a buyer, cutting them loose, not even spinning them off. Didn't even have the decency to spin them off. Cutting them loose. So Rooster Teeth, if that was part of your childhood, well, It's gonna die.
We're
like
happy to
everything
report
lives
your
in the
childhood
ocean.
is dying. So
Yeah. All the animals that you used to see at the zoo, they're extinct now.
oh,
We used to have so many, we put them in zoos, but now they're just gone. Hope you like cows, chickens.
it's just like a farm.
Just fucking cows. That's the only animal we have anymore.
Speaking of cows,
Okay, well, hit a cow on the interstate, put it in the back of your truck, take it home. Fry up the rib meat, and you got yourself some riblets. Just kind of like cracked up chunks of bone wrapped in meat, served in a big platter with red and white checkerboard
slathered
paper.
with some sauce.
And you got yourself some Applebee's riblets.
Mm.
Here on the podcast, that's what we call our short news stories, because there's something deeply wrong with my brain. So that's what we call them. If you are way into 3-Bit Gamer Show lore, you'll know that it took about 6 episodes for me to reach the payoff, which was playing that riblets clip.
We started with niblets,
Mm-hmm.
niblets, and they've made it to riblets.
It took us a minute.
We
got there. It was a long con, and now you guys get to hear the 2009 Applebee's riblets ad every single time you listen to this podcast.
It's part of your life now.
This is who you are. You go home to your wife and kids or your 5 roommates, and they're like, "How was your day?" And you're like, "Riblets." You're like, "Oh, it's fine. Nothing I want to talk
in
about."
my head.
Nah, nothing real. Nothing really stuck in my head.
What's your favorite type of music? And you're like, it's
not the
complicated.
riblets. It's not Applebee's ads. I'll tell you it's that much. It's not the commercials from the Applebee's family restaurant chain. Elatro has sold 500,000 copies. It's not enough. Still not enough. Put it on the phones,
It's gonna
motherfucker.
keep going.
Sell immediately. You'll sell 500,000 more, because everybody that you sold that copy to will just be pony right back up and get it on their phone.
I will buy it again on my phone.
You could make us buy it every day on our phones, and we'd probably do it.
It's a problem. And here's the thing. It's coming, because I shared a story in our Discord that the developer for it has a version of it on his phone.
I want to find out where that guy lives, hunt him down, and steal his phone, so I can have a phone with
give me your phone
on it.
He'd be like, "Why do you want my phone? I got this stuff at my house." And he'd be like, "You don't understand. I want your phone. Please just give it to me.
I'm here for the phone. Give it up. No one gets hurt." Oh, good for him. Quadruple A game Skull and Bones is on sale after 1 month for the quadruple A price of $45. Guillermo has some fucking splaining to do.
This one comes from James on Facebook. And yeah, this one's just funny to me because, first of all, James, what I've gathered from our interactions, he really hates Skull and Bones. I can say that.
Nice.
But this is pretty funny because this game, here's what I've heard. It's not a bad game, but it's the same thing that every live service game has. You just get in, you play for a little bit. It's pretty fun. And then it's just gets old. Like, it's just like, okay, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Which Pal World was the same way. It's like, this game is amazing, so much fun. And then we're just like, yeah, I'm kind of done with it. But Pal World wasn't $70.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone would describe Skull and Bones as amazing and so much fun.
No.
It was passable and an okay boat game for $70 damn dollars. For $45, I feel like I'm being robbed. Like, that's crazy. Another one here that comes to us from James is GTA Joker is making more demands. You guys know we love the GTA Joker beat. It's something we cover closely on this podcast because, as we both like to talk about, GTA Joker represents emergent art, possibly the newest art form we have seen in the age of social media. I don't know. Maybe over the course of covering GTA Joker, we'll come up with a really good name for what he's doing. But I mean, this is on the level of like impressionism. Like we're witnessing live the birth of a brand new art form, and it is GTA Joker.
Who was the guy that Jim Carrey played in the movie in Man on the Moon?
Bruce
or whatever?
Almighty. Sorry.
No.
Andy Kaufman.
Dude, he's the new Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
I think he's
like Salvador Dali.
He's like a brilliant troll.
Yes.
Or he's either that or the stupidest human being we've ever featured on the show. But I think he's a troll.
Were he born anywhere else but Florida, like if he is in Venice, this guy's like Mozart.
Yeah.
But he is a product of his environment as much as he is his own brilliance. And this is what we get. We get GTA Joker, but we don't get to choose where art comes from, you sluts. We're here for art's sake.
I'm going to play the clip.
Play the clip.
GTA, we got to talk. Strauss Selnick, we got to talk. GTA, we got to talk. Strauss Selnick, we got to talk. I seen that little article you wrote. When they released the trailer, the documentary talking about it didn't really hurt us, blah, blah. Yeah, it didn't hurt you because I hold the weight. Everybody want to play the game because of me. Strauss, Selnick, GTA, we got to talk. Then 2 weeks sober. Y'all think you going to play with my intelligence? I know what I have here. Everybody want to play GTA because of me. That's me in the game. I use my likeness. I want $20 million now. I ain't playing no games. Don't make me go to the headquarters in New York in the next 2-3 weeks.
Did he say
Strauss,
headquarters?
Selnick, what's up? Where's my money at? I want to be
What's up?
compensated. Stop playing with me. GTA, we got to talk. We got a big problem. We got a big problem.
First off, he again emerges through not just like it's like bushes this time. It's like low hanging branches.
But then he goes back and goes back.
Yeah, he's like in and out of the tree. He now has merch. He's got merch of his face and then the guy from GTA, which honestly, probably what if they sue him for using that image on his shirts he's selling? And then his shirt says, "We got to talk." He does say, what does he say? Hair.
That's where I'm like,
he points at his head when he says that.
Yeah. So anytime that people are like, oh, he's just a Florida idiot, his brain's fried from like meth and bath salts, and that's what we're watching. But then he says something like hair quarters. And I'm like,
he pointed at his head when he says
he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Because no human being on earth is that funny.
Okay.
Unintentionally.
Honestly, I think it's both. Why can't it be both? Why can't he be strung out on meth and a brilliant, funny, hilarious genius?
I guess that's what we get. I want to see the cross section of this dude's brain when he eventually gets hit trying to cross the interstate to catch a turtle or something. But until that day, we've got this Instagram of Lawrence Sullivan, which don't forget, that's his real name, which is like the most evidence that we have that he's a fucking completely normal guy. Completely fucking normal. This guy
Also,
vacuums.
I don't know if you noticed this. He's back at 20 mil. He was like 20
No,
mil.
he's locked in there. I think he's like decided.
Went back and he was like, yeah, just put me, just like, hey, help, I want to work for your company and go, I'll do press tours and stuff like that. And then he's like, nope, 20 mil. That's
well, you saw what happened, right? We're, I think, 12, 13 days past his birthday. So he's not playing anymore.
He's 2 weeks sober, bro.
Yeah, his birthday deadline that he gave GTA and 2K games, it's well past. And then he's like, I'm not playing anymore. I'm coming to your hair quarters.
Strauss.
I'm coming to storm down here. Our last one here is Toyota's making a prototype Pokemon motorcycle.
Dude,
I don't like this. I don't like looking at it. It made me uncomfortable. If I saw someone driving this on the road, I would go to the doctor and have my head checked, like a CT scan. I don't like it. I don't like looking at it. I don't like that it exists.
Look, the future is both ridiculous
and terrifying
and hilarious.
I don't like it.
Because if I see guys drive, if I see a guy like this isn't kids
Anybody.
are not going to drive this. It's going to be a grown man driving a motorcycle that looks like a Pokemon down the street.
Myriadon from Pokemon Violet.
It's so ridiculous, but also I will laugh. So,
I don't like this thing. It looks like You know when you see like motorcycles that kids can ride outside the grocery store for a quarter? Imagine if they made that into a real life motorcycle and you saw it on the road, you'd be like, uh-oh, that got off the track at Smith's.
How is it still moving?
How many quarters did you put in that thing? I don't like it. This sucks. Toyota's making it, so it's like semi-real. I'm sure it like can be pushed around a convention floor.
Yeah, I think this is like it's like a little prototype. You know, they do like those sample things just for show. That's it. But I want all of our vehicles by 2040. I want all of our vehicles to be just like
Pokemon.
Pretend vehicles that look like they're toys. That's what I want.
That's the only joy we can get because the air is poison and we're all wearing masks and everything's really bleak, but there's neon and you can drive a Pokemon.
I'll laugh. I'll get a chuckle.
Yeah,
that's
cute.
The only chuckles I can get.
Kind of cool. Kudos. Our positivity segment. And after a week full of layoffs, we need a little positivity. Peterson, what is this? Is it for Brooks Brothers? Like
I was trying to remember, and then I remembered. You know what's throwing me off? Because yours says Dune and mine says Brooks. So I say Brooks and Dune. Brooks and Dunn. I don't know. I was like, are you JD in the country right now?
Brooks and Dunn? Is that a
country thing? I think they're country artists.
Oh.
But no.
Culture.
Okay. I have two kudos real quick, and they're pretty fast. Brooks are a running shoe, and I think it's JD. I'm fully old man mode. I had tendonitis in one of my feet, which if you've ever had that, it is extremely painful to the point where I couldn't walk for like a day and a half at all. I just like crawling around the house.
Just crawled around the house like a baby.
Until I got some crutches. Then I was crutching around. So then I was like, all right, I got to stop wearing crappy shoes. And so I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and I was like, what are your most comfortable shoes? And the girl was super helpful. She said, Brooks are very comfortable. I tried on a bunch. I tried on some Nike shoes, tried on a bunch of different brands. The Nike ones I didn't think were comfortable at all. But I put on these Brooks shoes, and I think the brand or the name of them was Ghost or something, the like type. But the Brooks shoes are so comfortable. I am now been wearing them for just over a month, and they're just as comfortable as they were when I bought them. I love them. I don't ever want to wear any other tennis shoe now. That's kind of where I'm at. Are they the sexiest tennis shoe out there? No, they're not.
Will you wear them while you mow your lawn? Yes.
No, yes. I won't. I don't want to keep them nice and clean. I'll wear my stupid old Nikes to mow the lawn, and then
eventually these Brooks will be in the lawn mowing rotation, though.
Yeah,
dude.
They will get them. Yeah, that's absolutely true. But they're so comfortable. So if you're looking for a comfortable shoe, they're not cheap, but it was absolutely worth it to me. So these Brooks running shoes have changed to my life because I'm old. Guys, don't laugh. When you hit 40, you're going to be the same way. You're going to be like, oh, Peterson's so old. And then you hit 40 and you're like,
you don't hit 40. 40 hits you.
Yeah, there we go. I like that. And what do you got?
Dune 2. You spoiled it, but I got to redo those because I went and saw Dune 2 finally in IMAX. And
I bet it was amazing in IMAX.
Back row, which I was like, that was the only seats.
Window up. That's the way we like to keep going.
So we were right by the speakers. And I'll tell you, dude, there were some fucking scenes that those speakers were shaking my brain inside of my skull. Like, it was so good. And as someone that's, I read the book like 2 years ago, maybe longer.
You read it right before the movie came out, I believe.
Yeah, so it was a long time ago. And I don't remember all of it, but I do remember a good part of it. And I do feel like this is an incredible adaptation.
Is it like line for line? There's like a time skipping part they don't do.
Yeah, like they definitely make changes.
They make it a movie. They make it movie quality.
It needs to translate to screen, which a lot of the original Dune, definitely the later books, are kind of hard to do. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Dune, This, like Godzilla -1, is something you will regret not seeing in theaters. Once you see it at home
Absolutely.
and you're watching it on whatever streaming service and you're like, this is a really good movie. Halfway through, you're gonna be like, fuck, I should have seen this in theaters. And I really think that one's true about Godzilla. People already I see online that are like, oh, where can I see it? Why isn't it playing again? And no one will be able to see it this year because Godzilla Kong movies come out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Legendary has a deal that they can't in the same calendar year have a Japanese Godzilla and a Legendary Godzilla. So, God, I hope you guys saw it. I saw it twice. Don't make that mistake again with Dune. Go see Dune 2. Probably watch
Hit it in
the first
theater.
one again.
Yeah, you'll need to watch the first
Watch
one.
the first one again, or you will. There's some stuff you probably won't remember. You might think spice, for example, is for food.
Like my son. Yeah.
And you're like, I don't get it. Why do they care so much?
It's
Just eat it
food. Like you
plain.
you just put some
Just
salt.
get ketchup. Do
They
they
don't
not
have
have
salt?
ketchup in Dune?
Didn't have ketchup. You guys have everything. I promise you there's ketchup somewhere else.
Yeah, you'll be able to find ketchup. Did you say
I
you had
have one other.
What is that?
Okay, this is a constant kudos that I always have. This is for
Okay.
the Sultan of Plot, the Duke of Dweeb, the Colossus of Kickstart, the Colossus of Kickstart, the Great Brandino.
Okay. That was good.
That's right.
That was good. It was good.
Yep. So
my.
Brandon Sanderson, of course, gets another one. And this is just a quick, funny one. We've been tracking a little bit on the Discord, but Brandon Sanderson, he's such a dork. First, just like that's where we need to start. He's a huge dork. So a few weeks before this big announcement, he had 6:31 stuck on his clock, and people were like, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" Right. And it kind of was like kind of a meme. And then his books were like, there was 6 foil books and then 3 leather bounds and then 1. Right. And so the people were like, that means something. Right. 6:31. It was kind of a meme in Brandon Sanderson groups. And then the next week, his video, because he posts a weekly video, does like a live stream. He had like 6 clocks behind him with 6:31 on it. And so they're like, okay, it does mean something. And then he posts the day before. He's like, because the people found out the next video was going to be video number 631. So he posts, and we already knew he was announcing his Kickstarter for his Words of Radiance leather bound. And so he's like, he does the whole thing, the Words of Radiance leather bound. It does this whole thing. It's very dramatic. And it's like, that's pretty cool. And then at 6 minutes and 31 seconds, Brandon Sanderson, the screen just cuts to him and he's just sitting there staring at the screen. And there's kind of like some stormy sounds in the background, real quiet, and like a low. And then it slowly, he's not doing anything. He's just sitting there staring at the screen. A lot of people left the stream. They thought it was over. Or other people thought it was like a newscaster who was like, oh, they don't know they're live yet, right? And it just slowly starts zooming in on him. And this is for like 30 seconds. Zooms in, the music it gets a little bit louder, there's a crescendo, and then he reaches down, picks up a pile of papers, a manuscript, slams it down, and walks off the screen. So dramatic. And it says new secret project. He has a new secret project. So of course, in conjunction with his Words of Radiance leatherbound backer kit, they're not doing it on Kickstarter, so backer kit, it breaks the website for like 4 hours. Backer kit is just down. The whole website. No one can go on it. It's just dead because everyone was trying to buy it. Yes, they've sold $1 bazillion worth of stuff.
You get this one?
You know what? I don't like to, it's just like, I don't know.
There's certain things you don't ask a man. You don't ask him his salary.
It did. You can ask me anything. You
don't ask him how much money he spends on Sanderson merch.
Here's the problem. If Sanderson is like, "Oh, I'm releasing a thing, give me money," I'm just like, I don't even have a choice. I don't have a choice, Brandon.
Autofills his credit card information is already it remembers.
My bank called me and they were like, "Hey, there's a new backer kit for Brandon Sanderson. Where you were going to do that, right? Because we haven't seen the charge yet."
He gets fraud alerts. We think your credit card might be stolen because we noticed you didn't buy the latest backer kit for Sanderson.
It's currently.
You want us to go ahead and cancel your card? God, no. How would I get the backer kit then?
Can you just go ahead and do it for me? They're like, yeah, actually, we already did. We already did. Courtesy call. It's currently at 17.6 million, his backer kit. So
That's so crazy.
it's crazy. Anyways, awesome backer kit. He's got a new secret project, which he swore he wasn't doing. I even said that at the beginning of this year. And yeah, new secret project. So whatever, Brandon. He's just
Secret project.
the great Brandino.
All right, we don't have a bumper for this. You gonna
I
make
know.
it?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how much.
you put
We'll see how much effort I want to put in tomorrow when I edit.
Yeah.
Hit or miss.
Well, make it hooky. I don't know.
The Blues Traveler song "Hook."
Ooh, there you go.
Suck it in, suck it in, suck it in. The rin tin tin. I don't know the words of the song. That's as good as they got.
You're gonna get to know him as you make this bumper.
Because the hook brings you back.
See, the game hook is this new segment Peterson and I are trying out because we keep getting hooked on games. We've named this after what Jenna has described as the most dangerous move in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the heel hook.
Ooh.
Which it's dangerous because you have it, and then your ankle's broken, and you didn't even feel it coming. So yeah, if you're gonna do it to someone, like this is banned in most early competitions, like if you're a kind of a newbie, because if you try it and someone doesn't know how to respond to it, they don't know what's going on, they won't tap until their ankle breaks, and then they're like, "What happened?"
I've seen it happen even in professional level, like
Yep.
at UFC. I've seen ankles break from this.
The heel hook, not unlike the game hook, is a little dangerous. You don't see it coming, and then all of a sudden your wallet breaks, or
It's got its hooks in, and you're just like you're stuck.
you're up till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. on weekends.
What even is morning at this point? It's
It all just kind of blends
the
together
game.
because it's all the same time that I play Balatro on the Steam Deck. All the same. So the way we figured we'd package this so we don't just spend the whole time ranting about whatever the latest game is that we're hooked on is that we have some questions that we're going to go through. Did you think of any more?
I'd put one in right now on the
we can take these off. I think we can just kind of experiment with it, but it's basically like going down the list and kind of discussing the latest game that we're hooked on, and if we think that it has staying power, and why we're hooked on it. And
that's really what the conversation is, because there are a few games that I will never delete off of my machines. And just to like go through the list a little bit of the games that are totally on my machine forever. We've got FTL. That's the one we've talked about all the time. That's on there. FTL is always going to be on my machine. Rocket League stays on my machine.
Oh, big time.
Forever. RimWorld stays on my machine forever. Slay the Spire stays on my machine. Right? So there's these games like this that just look, I'm not always playing Rocket League, and I'm not always playing Slay the Spire and RimWorld, but sometimes I log in and play because it's got its hooks in, right?
Yeah, and see, this is the part where I think the segment transitions from a BJJ metaphor into a fishing metaphor.
Oh.
So the name, we named it after Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but we're going to stick with fishing metaphors for a lot of these things.
You know what's funny? I didn't even think about fishing when I was talking about hook. Like,
I thought it was kind of wild. That's where your brain immediately went there.
Because you got to get your hooks in. I don't know.
That's just your thing. I thought getting your hooks in, I thought that was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre reference, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
You got to get your hooks
in.
Who's
the psychopath now? Okay. Who's the psychopath now?
So the first question we've got here, well, let's just preface
what
really
was
quickly.
The meat hook?
The game, oh God. The game we are talking about this week is Balatro.
I say Balatro.
Yeah, well, on the trailers, they say Balatro.
That sounds wrong.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to do what they say. So this is the game. This is the poker roguelike that we've been playing a lot. And it's incredible. It's $15 on Steam. It's also available, I think, on the Switch, and hopefully coming to phones soon.
A little hit
But
or miss on the Switch. It depends on what
it's a
country
deck
you're in.
builder. If you guys have ever played a tabletop game, deck builder, same concept, except for your starter deck is a standard 52 deck of cards. What you do through the course of the game is you modify your deck just like any deck builder. You're adding different types of cards. They're all the same, standard playing cards, but some of them have certain abilities, and you add them to your deck, or you change certain ones within your deck, and then you play these crazy hands that are scored according to poker hands. Jokers are a big part of it.
GTA Joker is also part of this game. Just
Balatro, we've got to talk. We got to talk. So, dude, if they put Florida Joker as one of the Jokers in this, he's gonna try to sue them too. It would be such a good story.
local thunk. We gotta talk.
We gotta talk. First question I want to ask about Balatro is, what was the barb? What was the little tiny piece of fleck of metal on the end of the hook that made it so it didn't come right back out when it went through your cheek?
For me, I think the barb on all of these, to be honest, on any roguelike, the barb that immediately sticks is how much stuff I'm unlocking. And
that is your thing.
In this game, there's just so many. Like I'm just playing, and I'm like, "Ooh, I just unlocked a new Joker. Ooh, I just unlocked a new deck." Like you're unlocking stuff, especially for your first 10 hours. I feel like you're just constantly unlocking stuff. So the unlocks are the initial barb for me, but also, look, you know how much I love playing cards. They remind me of gambling, and I love that. And so I love any card game because I love random elements. And this is the ultimate random elements, a 52 card deck. And so this was like a double whammy. This was like, that like double hook you can do when you're fishing.
Oh yeah.
This is that. It was
really
just like both of those barbs got me. It was like in both my lips. It was a real bad situation.
You're gonna screw up your gills forever. Even if it's catch and release, you're fucking dead.
Yeah, I'm not releasing.
Really quick question, because I wanted to ask, because you reminded me of the last big roguelike card game you were way into. Is how do you think Balatro, which you've played 60 hours, I feel like you played it enough to make a statement here. How do you feel like it weighs up or compares to Slay the Spire for you?
So, man, that's so tough. Because they just play so differently.
We're talking about hooks, though.
I say Balatro is, in terms of like the hooks are, I'd say, a little bit different, because Slay the Spire, you are unlocking stuff, but not at the same rate.
Right.
You are not unlocking at the same rate. You're more like getting a currency to unlock stuff. I would say Slay the Spire still has the edge on Balatro in terms of the hooks, but that's because it's hard because Slay the Spire's already hooked, right? It's in me forever. It is part of me and part of my life.
You swallowed the hook. It's in your belly.
Yeah, and I'm never releasing it. When it tried to pass through the colon, it got stuck again. It's there, and so I would say this is the only roguelike deck builder that has even come close to scratching the itch that, like, really thoroughly scratching the itch that Slay the Spire scratches. It's the only one that's come close for me at all. But they're such different games. Like, they're both deck builders, but like one's like a combat deck builder, and the other one, this one's just like, you're not even playing against anybody. You're just playing.
So the barb for me was so easy because I mean, I love roguelikes. It's like the majority of games that I really get hooked on.
Everyone knows that we love them.
Yeah, but that doesn't really hook me. That never hooks me. The hook for me on this one was that it's video poker. I mean, I have a long history as a kid. When I was a kid, those little plastic games,
the little handheld
thingies, little handheld games with like a watch battery in there where you could just play beep 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 beep, and you could bet and just play video poker. I would play on that thing honestly for hours at a time.
Gosh.
I just loved the statistical and scoring aspect of poker, and I always have. And when I could get a group of 3+ people together to play poker, I am so happy. I am 100% happier playing poker with people that love it, understand the game, and want to play it than I am playing just about any cool tabletop game.
I would absolutely agree with that.
Yep, that's just how it is. I don't know. I think it's like playing chess versus playing a lot of different, one-on-one strategy games. It boils down to such a simple thing that has so many different tactics, and the more you play them, the more you kind of see these things. And so I love poker. I just love it. I won't play it in a casino because I'm not crazy and I don't like throwing money in a hole.
That's like too much money, right? I like playing with friends for $20. You know what I mean?
Love that shit. And I'll do it for hours. And, in games like Red Dead Redemption, I will just play the poker and find myself 2-3 hours later. Oh, shit. I just been playing dumb poker in Red Dead. That's weird. So for me, a roguelike with the video poker aspect and a deck builder, which is my favorite tabletop games, are deck builders. All of them are deck builders. It was, for you, yeah, like yours,
yep.
Double barb. I had a double barb between video poker and deck building. Oh,
I'm so glad you love it too, because I was like, everyone needs to play this game, and then you were like, fine, and you played it, and immediately messaged like, I love this game. This game is so good.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Like, a lot of people don't get it.
Though.
It's just such a good game.
Mm-hmm. And even if you just like blackjack, you probably would still like this game.
If you like Yahtzee, you'll like this game.
Yeah. So next question here is, will you still be hooked in a month? Do you think that hook will have ripped through your cheek and scarred over like GTA Joker? Or do you think you'll still be running around on the line?
This is the hard question for me, because there's been so many games on this podcast that I'm like, I love this game. I love it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to beat it. I'm going to play it forever.
Like Pal World, dude. We went so hard for like 2-3 weeks in Pal World, and I haven't even thought about it.
It came and went for me.
Right? And I would have said that I'd put a couple months into it. Honestly, I was expecting to do that.
I thought I would too.
And then I
bounced off pretty quickly, and so that's what makes this hard. I will say I will be playing this game in a month for sure, because it is very. I'd say the accessibility of it.
Yeah,
it's very easy to just get into a run, but it also plays extremely well on the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
I pull it up on the Steam Deck, and I just like, I have it by the bed, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna play around. And sometimes I'm like more into it than other times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those games where the games that stay on my machine that I keep playing are games that if when you're in the mood and you're like, I don't really know what I want to play right now, I could boot this up and be into it. Right? If I'm just hanging out and I want to play something, but I'm not sure what I want to play, I don't want to get into like a Helldivers run, which could be 30-40 minutes on the longer missions. I don't want to get into a Hell Let Loose run, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want the commitment. This game is a non-commitment. You can quit anytime you want. There are roguelikes where you can't quit mid-run. This one, you can just quit whenever you want, and it'll just get you right back into where you were.
You just turn your Steam Deck off, pull the batteries out, throw it in a pool, and you log on to Steam, and your exact run will just be there.
Yep. So if I had to bet on the gambling theme, if I had to bet that I would be playing this game in a month, I would put a lot of money on that. I will still be playing this game in a month because it scratches an itch that I always have. I always have the roguelike deck builder itch.
That's a great point, and that's a big part of why I'll also be playing this, I imagine, in a month, is because I don't think that anything else is going to come along in the interim. And that's the only thing that's going to get me off this game. The game, I'm not going to run out. I'm 30, 40 hours behind you and how much you've played. And I feel like I have at least that much in front of me before I feel like I've even gotten close.
Yeah, you still got like a lot to do, I think.
I have a ton to unlock. And then I find I'm starting to see these like little threads of potential new builds that I could find or get into Like there's the one because I get one single card and I'm like, oh my god, if I got that Joker with these two Jokers, that would that would be the most unbelievable run ever. But I can tell already that would take me 20 runs or 30 runs to be able to get those all at the same time. So I feel like that's gonna keep me around for at least a month, but probably a lot more unless something really pulls me away from this.
Right.
And the thing is it has gotten into my head. Like I play this game so much. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I'll just play really quick before I take the dogs on a run. Obviously, it wasn't really quick. It was like an hour plus. Then I go running the dogs and I see it's really windy this morning when I was running them. And I see this family flying a kite. And in my brain, and they were all out in their Sunday best, their Sunday outfits, their Easter clothes. And two of the little girls were wearing the same dress. And my brain was like, all right, king, queen. Oh, cool. Those two are the same card, same suit.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
nice. A pair in the same suit. And I was like, that is insane. I am pairing things off on my run. I've got Tetris Effect going for this game, for a poker game. Yeah, I think I'll be playing this I think it's in my head a little bit. The follow-up, same question, but instead of a month, will you be playing it in a year? Will this be FTL that you keep going back to, or Rocket League, or a game where you're like, oh, I just, when I'm bored, when I don't know what to play, this is an automatic choice for me, easy to open.
Yep. So I do think I will. Am I going to be playing it in a year as much as I'm playing it now? Absolutely not. There's no way. Because I don't play Slay the Spire all the time now, but I play it sometimes. But it will be on my machine and I will still play it. Like, for example, RimWorld is a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Probably once a year, I'm going to play RimWorld really hard for like a week and a half. And then I just quit mid-run. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, I got my fix. That's what this game is going to be for me. It's going to be on my machine and it's going to be on the Steam Deck. It's going to be on my PC and I'm going to keep playing it. Because it's a type of game that doesn't really go out of style. There's not much to it, but there's the variety of the cards and the things you can do on a run are just so huge that it's got that one more run type of feel. And so yeah, go ahead.
Well, I know this is a subjective answer, and I hate to say this, but I do think you're wrong.
Okay.
And you will be playing this possibly more in a year than you are now.
If it's on my phone,
because it will be on your phone.
That is a good
caveat. I think the chance we are playing this more in a year than we are in 2 months, because I do think having it on the Steam Deck will get a little old. But if it goes on phones within the next year or so, I don't see us ever putting this damn thing down.
Absolutely.
Because we'll start over. When you start a new run on Undermine, you go so fucking ham. If you start a new account entirely on Balatro and you have to unlock all the Jokers you've unlocked already and do all that stuff, I think you know how to do it because you've gone through it already. Oh, dude, I see this game being a real problem the second it hits mobile for us.
Yep, I'm so yes, that is a great caveat because if this goes on mobile, because I do have mobile games that I just while I'm watching a show, I just kind of play. Right, I've got these games that I play, and if this one and one of them is actually a card-based roguelike, but if this game's on there, it will live on my phone forever, and I'll pay $15 for it, and I'll play it all the time. That is absolutely true.
So let's see, we got 2 more here. Back to the fishing metaphor. What, if anything, would make you spit out the hook that is Balatro? Would make you say, "Oh, fuck this!" Like with Valheim, I can talk about specifically what made me spit out that hook. But yeah, what was it for what would it be potentially for this game?
I mean, obviously you mentioned if a better one comes out, but I can confidently say that's not going to happen because Slay the Spire came out so long ago.
And it took this long to get something close to it.
Yes. And that's not just me saying that. That is everybody online is finally something that's like scratching that
Something
same
good.
itch, satisfactory at a satisfactory level. And so something better coming out, but also I don't know what would make me
Because I have this suspicion that they are going to continue to release, because it'd be so damn easy, new cards, new jokers, new decks, even all this stuff. Like, I think in a game like this, if you release things and they break the game, that's a good thing. Because it's not like you can, with 200 different Joker cards, it's not like you can like try to get this specific build.
yeah,
You have to
that's
rely on a random number generator to give it to you. And they have seeds in this, actually. So the runs are seeded, which is really interesting. So there's potential that you could find a specific seed that lets you break the game. But at that point, who cares? That's not on the developers. That's on the gamers for finding ways to break this cool game. So I could see them loading this up with a lot of stuff. So that's the only way I could see this losing me. But I do think it's a very low percentage chance of that happening, is if they add so much stuff that it's overwhelming somehow.
like if they add new systems to it.
Or yes, new systems like Clash of Clans or Clash Royale lost me because they added so many things and they just kept piling all these ideas. And Clash of Clans actually got to a point where they had so many additional ideas, they ended up making a secondary base. So after I had the same base for 5 years, they're like, oh, you have a night base, because we had so many ideas we wanted to cram in that. And now I have to maintain that, a night base and a day base. And I was like, what am I doing? So if it reaches that point, I think the only way that it would ruin the experience for me is if it was so much shit that you couldn't rely on, like, oh, I want to get this Joker with this Joker and this card. Well, if there's 6,000 Joker cards, you're never going to be able to get the same combinations. You're never going to get the same things in the store. And it's just going to be a really, I think, disjointed and chaotic experience. Whereas right now it seems like you can try to get specific builds.
You can try
and aim for them. But at a certain point, you would have too much variety and too much chaos, I think, to make it fun. So that's my only potential thing. But I don't see that I don't see it happening. I don't see them doing that. I see them releasing like 5-10 Jokers at a time, steady drip over like a couple years, and you end up with maybe if we're lucky, twice as many Jokers, as twice as many things as they launched with, and that would still be fine. I think if they doubled all the shit in this game, it'd still be great. So if they do that slow, but like you said, if they add a ton of new mechanics, I might dip. I might spit that hook out. Ooh.
That was actually what's the Hearthstone for me. I was diving in and out. They add so much stuff where I'm like, yeah, I can't follow along anymore. So that would be a good one for Balatro. If they add too much, then it would kill it, I think.
Because it does have a decent amount going on right now. And I feel like it's just enough. But it took me, okay, so here's the thing. I didn't start buying tarot cards for the first like 5 games. It was too much. I was like, I know what the planet cards do, the planet packs. I had no money. I feel like I was always broke. So I focused on just buying like what cards I knew and could understand. And the cards that I would add to my deck, I did that. And I knew that. And then eventually I tried the planet cards and I was like, oh, duh, you need to get these. But it took me a long time to ramp up and learn all the different card types because it's a bit overwhelming. It just like any deck builder, there's a lot going on.
You're like, how do I get good at this? Like, how do I utilize all the systems together? And once you get it, it's really not that bad in this game, but it takes a minute to get there.
Yeah. So if they keep adding those, you might lose me on that, especially if it's a game where you dip off and come back. But you know what I'd love is if they do it FTL style. Like maybe they don't even do anything and then they release like a huge update like they did the advanced edition, and it revamps a lot of stuff, adds a shit ton, and that's it, and they're done. Yeah. And they don't treat this as like a live service game. I'd be okay with that too. I honestly would be. Like it's fine. But I have a suspicion they're going to be dripping new stuff in this because they seem enthusiastic. Last thing here is I love this. I want to estimate how many Steam hours you will have on this game after 5 years.
Not mobile, just Steam.
Yeah. And now this is like kind of a loosey goosey estimate, 5 to 7, whatever years, basically when the game has like been played out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where my all recently played all
My
games.
Slay the Spire's at 457. I think
Yeah,
it
I
would
want to
be
give some
safe-
examples of that.
It
Yeah.
would be safe for me to say this one will. And I don't play a lot of games that many hours anymore because I bounce around quite a bit. Part of it's because of the podcast. Part of it's just because I like seeing what else is out there. But I wouldn't be surprised if I hit 300 hours on this game on Steam. That would not surprise me at all. I mean, I'm at 60 right now. And obviously it'll slow down a little bit. But I mean, I'm right. I'm on the way to get there. So I would say 300 is pretty realistic for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like I guess I only have, for all of my talking and all the time I've mentioned it on this podcast, I only have 400 hours on FTL, which is not that much. I almost have 600 on Valheim for comparison.
You usually don't go as hard on games as I do in terms of your Steam hours,
Yeah.
but I could see you putting 150 hours into this game.
That's where I'm leaning. Because, I did 75 in Planet Crafter, and that was only like 2 or 3 playthroughs.
Huh.
And I went hard on that. I did 100 in Raft. So I think the 100, I did 150 in Frostpunk. So
Oof.
I think 150 over 5 years. And this has way more staying power than Frostpunk. Frostpunk is one game mode, essentially.
Yeah, it's just like you play through.
So,
You can play through a couple times if you want, but
yeah, this def seems like a 150 for me. I like that. That's probably a good bet. Because I don't have the same collection drive that you do.
Yeah.
I think that's my saving grace there. But
it's a real problem sometimes.
Yeah. So that's the game hook.
It's a beautiful game. It's got its hooks in. We'll see if they come out. I don't see that happening with this game, but you never know. Sometimes I bounce off games and it's like that game's gone. I just don't play it anymore.
We should do what we should add is a third or a final thing, or maybe it's the first question. What was the last hook you had? And so we can revisit this the next time we get hooked on a game. We'll be like, oh yeah, let's talk a little bit, just a tiny bit about Balatro, where we left off on that, if we still are playing it.
Okay.
So we can kind of just go hook to hook, Tarzan style. All right, so let's move on to Dice of Destiny.
Dice of Destiny.
Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see which one of us will be playing the Dice of Destiny itself, rolling the Dice of Destiny itself, a 20-sided die with 20 different game genres assigned to it. We then roll another 6-sided dice to see how much of a budget we have for our Dice of Destiny game. We find a game in that genre, within that budget, and we pick it, play it, review it. Peterson last week, finally, Peterson rolled the dice, not me.
Yeah.
And he rolled a $15 relaxing game. Relaxing. This is just what we need.
Yeah.
Balatro probably could have counted. I'd call that relaxing.
Oh, I would too, because there's no pressure.
It does not stress me out. I'll tell you
not
that.
at all. I do get mad at myself sometimes, but
yeah, when I press Y instead of X, what am I fucking thinking?
I get something. So let's see. This was a tough one because it's a $15 relaxing game, and I feel like relaxing games you got to be in the mood for. I did find one that I'm actually pretty excited to play. It's one I've seen a couple times, and it feels more like a board game. And it feels like a board game you play by yourself, which is what could be more relaxing. And so this is called, it's a weird name. It's called Dorf Romantic, DORF Romantic with a K instead of a C. So Dorf Romantic, one word.
Okay.
This is a building strategy puzzle game where you just have a village with kind of a landscape. It's like river pieces and forest pieces and then like farm pieces and stuff. You put it down, and I haven't played it yet, so I don't really know. But you're trying to get your top score. Just trying to there's like quests and stuff like that. But it looks like, you get your top score on building.
Oh, it's like Carcassonne vibes.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Tiles.
Yeah, like tile. Yeah, you put down like a hexagon
it feels
tile.
a lot like Carcassonne. Like you have different types of tiles and
it just seems really chill.
Overwhelmingly positive.
I was like, I know I've seen this before, but I've never really took it seriously. And now I'm honestly like kind of excited to play this game.
23,000 reviews, came out 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Overwhelmingly positive. Holy shit, good find, man. I'm putting this on my wish list.
So
Build cute worlds.
And like all the reviews are like, yeah, excellent game to de-stress with. So it fits that relaxing theme. This one, relaxing, chill game. Build your own little world, however you want.
I feel like you need this. This is a good thing for Peterson.
Yes, this honestly, like I said, I'm excited to play this game. It looks like it'd be fun. Looks like it'd be challenging, but like, because a lot of relaxing games, like, yeah, I played it for like 2.5 hours, pretty fun, and then I'm just kind of done. This seems like I could play it for a little bit. So Dwarf Romantic, I'm excited to play it and review it next week.
And it's on sale right now. So if you guys want to go get it.
Oh yes, I think that's why it worked for Dice of Destiny. Because let's see, how much is it normally? It fit normally. Normally it's $14. But perfect. I got it for $9.79.
Yeah, this looks like that's a steal. The $10 for a game like this. This looks great.
Yep. So excited for this one.
All right, well, that's it, you guys. And I don't know how, but somehow we magically managed to hit 90 minutes every single week. We do not. It's not like we're like hurrying things along at any point.
No.
Or trying to stretch them out. There's just some weird.
We just go. Time goes faster when you're podcasting, I think.
It's like my dogs know in the morning exactly when breakfast is. They wake me up at 8. My dog jumps on the bed and punches me as hard as she can on the butt. Just smacks my butt with her paw.
Nice. Which one?
Lily.
It's Lily?
Yeah.
I thought it would be London.
London is laying in the kitchen waiting for Lily, who's her minion that she sends to punch my butt. But they can't read a clock. They just know when it's time to punch Dad's butt and get breakfast. It's 8 a.m. every day. So that's how we hit 90 minutes on this podcast. It's just butt punching time. We just know.
Butt punching time.
Butt punching time. All right, to play us out, we've got some music from the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. The best ironically titled song. What's these guys' problem? In honor of WB Discovery. What's this guy's problem?
What's this guy's problem?
What's your fucking problem? What's wrong with you guys? Why you keep doing this stuff? Why should you make us make this game? What's your problem? I'm JD, logging off.
And this is Peterson going AFK.
What's your problem?
Dude, that's so great.
See you, dude. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, M&P Chan. Nice to see you on here.
Yeah, everyone get on our YouTube. That's where all the fun stuff happens.